Well, I was definitely high when we shot this footage yesterday, by which I mean 13 millimeters high off my top sheet, with the Butterfly Wing BX riser from Trenched Carving Equipment. Risers are the subject of this video, but before we get into that, I want to show you something else. The plan yesterday was just to roll up late and make some easy turns on some mellow terrain off the kids' chair, but unfortunately the fog layer was lower than anticipated and we had to go up the stoke to get some sun. And gotta tell you, you're just thrown right into the deep end. This is my first run on a carving board of the season. It's after 11, the groom is chopped. I didn't have a chance to preview the course, so to speak. And I always forget, every December it's the same thing. You know, because by March, all these rollers are filled in. It's not as steep, it's wider, it's smoother. But the first run in December is super intense. It's the Revelstoke warm-up. Anyway, I wanted to share that with you because I'm always just showing you like the best turns on the smoothest terrain because that's when the camera comes out. But this is real deal. We didn't get up here till 11 o'clock. It's chopped, it's icy, it's narrow. These rollers are just killer steep and yeah, humbling experience. This here was the kind of thing that we had intended for the day, and just beautiful mellow, but too foggy for YouTube videos, so that was that. Anyway, back to the risers. Welcome to the office. Today we're talking about risers, and I want to show you specifically this brand new Butterfly Wing BX riser from Trenched Carving Equipment. These are risers of my own design, and I'm very excited about them. They are available for sale in limited quantities at carversconnection.com. Let's begin, though, by talking about why a snowboarder may want to use risers. So the most common reason is a person is dragging their toes and or their heel cup of their binding, and that's going to cause a lot of friction. It's going to slow them down at the snow level where their center of mass keeps moving forward. They're going to end up, you know, on their face or on their butt. It's bad news. So many people are limited in how much angulation they can achieve because their board is too narrow or their equipment is not quite suitable for the kind of carving they want to do. Risers help with that by giving you more clearance. Also, second reason people want risers is to get more leverage over your edge, which allows you to put more power into your board. The trade-off is the vibrations of that board also exert more force on the rider. And so our height is optimized at 13 millimeters to find that perfect balance between adding leverage but not being too tippy. And the third reason people want risers is to improve the performance, the carving performance of their current equipment. And these risers will do that. Not every riser will. Yeah, so this design is based off the original Butterfly BX riser from JCJ Anderson. The shape of this riser was well researched and well tested. The back of it is milled out specifically to allow impact absorption. What he's done here is created kind of a trampoline. So in a BX race, you may take a big air, you might fly 30, 40 feet or more and then land flat. That's a lot of impact on your feet, right? So this is made to absorb some of that with that trampoline effect. It's also, like I say, the shape is specifically designed to transfer the forces right to the edge, right where you want it, but to maintain the flexibility through the middle of your board so you have that torsional flex through your board that you need to absorb all the bumps and imperfections in the snow. So we've taken that one step further here by separating the two pieces out. Okay, so there's basically unlimited flex there through the middle of the board, but we're still concentrating that force you're applying exactly where you want it. Plus, we've added a bunch of holes, so you can slide these up or down because maybe for your specific board and your specific stance, you want that pressure applied to a specific point along your edge. Okay. In addition to that, we've made it so that you can ride them tight together if you have a narrow standard board, and you can pull them a little wider apart if you have a wide board, like one of these C4s from JCJ. So, basically, they come with these 13 millimeter posts. Okay, these, like I said, are optimized for height. They also have this flat section at the bottom here, which is made to kind of like sit on your top sheet and spread out those forces a little bit. Because the problem with some previous designed risers is they were pulling inserts out, right? And that's bad news. Not only is it extremely dangerous, but it can destroy a board very quickly. So again, these are designed to spread that force out with that flat bottom area. You basically just put them in by hand, give them about a quarter turn each. You don't have to over tighten them, and I encourage you not to, please. Okay, that's plenty. And then, because this is a wide board, we're going to use the inside holes. We're going to get the edge of the riser lined up with the edge of the board. And there is a bit of flexibility here, and that's okay because your board does curve. So that's also intentional. The risers themselves are a little thicker than the posts. So what happens is you can adjust them, and then once you get your binding down, the binding's going to hold it in place. They're not going to move. So what I like is, because I'm goofy, I move that heel side towards the back and the front side towards the front, and I set my binding up like that. And now I'm getting the edge pressure exactly where I want it on each side. Some other modifications we made here is, well, we use the same material. This is UMHW. It's a very high quality plastic. It's not going to shrink or expand in the cold. It's not brittle. It's not going to crack. Long lasting. This is basically, if you take reasonable care of it, this is going to last a lifetime. What we've done is we've thinned out this trampoline area a little more than JC did, just a hair. And then I added back a little nub here. So what this is designed to do is give you a little extra shock absorption, or that impact absorption that we get from the trampoline. But because I don't want any breakage at all, we put that little nub there. So you get about 1 millimeter of deflection in this trampoline, and then it's going to stop. This little nub is going to hit your board, and that's going to protect the riser and protect you from breakage. What else have we got here? Let's look at some other risers. These are interesting. This is the first riser I ever made. I made this for my first JCJ board, which was very wide. It was 300 millimeters at the waist. It was a very wide board with a 15.5 meter side cut, so it was also very wide underfoot. But this board was designed for high edge angles. So whereas on previous boards I was riding, which were not quite as wide, I didn't necessarily need to angulate it so high. It wasn't designed for that. A lot of production boards, you know, they have an 8 meter side cut. They're made for these down unweighted turns where you're pushing into it and you're making kind of an open turn shape. And this sort of down unweighting really slows you down, keeps you in control. But I wanted to make closed shape C turns, which demands more angulation, riding the board for longer and up unweighting. So I'm actually straight up tall, kind of like even floating through the transitions rather than pushing through the transitions. Yeah, I was dragging. The widest board I'd ever had, but I was dragging. I was ending up on my face or my butt, and it was frustrating. So I basically just traced the bottom of my binding, cut these out of plywood, and then I added a little bit of this window rubber here because the screws that I bought were too long. I either had to grind the screws or add a little bit. This worked well, improved my clearance and my leverage, and I was able to ride that board much more effectively with these risers. But I ended up bending some of these screws. I'm lucky I didn't actually pull any inserts out or pull my whole binding off the board, which can be absolutely disastrous at high speed. So I retired these and moved on to something else. But while we're talking about this, I found these here on a Chinese website, and I brought in a pair. I was thinking of putting these in the store at Carver's Connection. But they, again, you know, come with washers and long screws, and I don't want to be selling that. There's going to be injuries. There's going to be breakage. I'm going to say stay away from any kind of riser that uses a long screw. So when I was ready to retire these here and move up to something better, JC sold me these. It's a urethane riser. It's made to be soft, not affect the performance of your board at all, and just to give you lift, it works with the same posts. These were great for a while. I achieved what I wanted to achieve with these. That was good. And then I tried his butterfly wing. And I found this to just be incredible, especially on production boards. You know, my custom boards are basically tuned for me. I don't really need a ton of adjustment on these to get the performance I want. That's done in the design and manufacture. But when I put these on a production board, They stiffen the board where I want it, but leaving it flexible where I need it to remain flexible to absorb bumps. It gives me the height, it gives me the leverage, and this was wide enough for those production boards. So it transfers that power right to the edge, right where I wanted it. And I really love them, but they were not adjustable. They only went in one place. And for example, when I was using now bindings that only have 4 points of contacts in the corners, I couldn't quite get the angle I wanted. It was sometimes the little foot would sit off the edge, and that was not ideal. So we've improved the design now, and that's fantastic. What else do we want to talk about here? I want to talk about isolation plates, and then we're going to have a sneak peek at the trench canted riser, which is not in production yet. But, it is in production, but they're not available for order just yet. Okay, now this here is an isolation plate for racing, designed and built of carbon fiber by JCJ Anderson. It mounts on these sliding hinges. Okay, see that moves back and forth? And these special inserts in the board. So I would put these here, like that, and I would mount this on top, and then I would mount the binding right on top of that. And what this is designed to do is let your board flex without the relative position of your feet changing at all when the board moves. This basically allows the board to do what it's designed to do, and it's really incredible. I only rode this once last year. It's a little much for the type of free riding I do, but I highly recommend it for BX racers. They are available. Get a hold of me, and I can hook you up. They're not for everybody, but if you're an advanced BX racer, you should have one of these. Every single World Cup Olympic snowboard racer in gates with hard boots is riding an isolation plate, because you can't win without it. Yeah, it was a fantastic experience. I lost sensitivity with the board, but looking at my tracks, I could see the board was hooking up, the tracks were thin, the board was doing the work for me. Rather than me trying to control it with my feet and my input, the board was just finding its groove and carving smoothly. And I basically was just doing my thing. It was less fatiguing and higher performance. Yeah. I wanted to show that to you while I have it here. I got to send that back to JC next week. Okay, and a sneak peek at our canted riser. Okay, this is the interface piece. This will mount on your board directly, giving you adjustment to any posy angle, goofy or regular. And then this will sit right on top, and your binding goes into these 4 screws right here. So the idea here is, as I've been saying for a while now, is to get a better position in a posy stance, you want to lift your rear heel and lift your front toes. And this is going to enable you to go wider, bring your knees together, and feel more powerful and perform better. What else did I want to show you here? I think that's about it. Except for one thing that I did want to mention. In the lineup on opening day 3 days ago, my shark fin broke off and I lost it. But they came in a 2-pack. And so I do happen to have an extra one here. And what I did is I just sort of basically used a Dremel and, put the curvature of my helmet on it. And then I affixed it to a GoPro mount so I could slide it in and out. My question to you, please, I'm looking for answers in the comments. Should I ride with the fin? I felt like when it broke off, it's the end of an era. I'm done with the shark fin. But then just yesterday, someone commented on another video, said, how do you get that fin on your helmet? I want one. It started me thinking, it is kind of my calling card. And maybe I should put the fin back on. Tell me what you think in the comments. A little bit of housekeeping now. I want you to know we have trenched branded boot stiffeners and straps on their way to us now. We'll be in the store in a few weeks. Lastly, I have 2 more boards from JCJ Anderson for sale before the next batch of C4s are released. I'm going to put them in the forum at carversconnection.com in the buy and sell section. So if you're looking for a brand new Titanal board, I have 2 left. So yeah, that's where the backup camera ran out of battery. Oh well, I think we'll call it there. Thanks for watching. Appreciate your time. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you're having a great day and making some great turns this month.